Welcome back to Joe's Allotment channel. As always, thanks to Di behind the camera. What we're going to do today is make some stuffed vine leaves or dolmas. It's an old recipe, apparently it's centuries old, and it was spread throughout the sort of Middle East, North Africa, Balkans, Azerbaijan by the Ottoman Empire. And it's basically stuffing vine leaves, and there's loads and loads of different, dozens and dozens of different recipes to use. Some use meat, some use do without meat, some use pine nuts, some use sultanas, but this is a recipe we've adapted ourselves over the years. So we'll show you how to make that today. So yeah, so what we do is we mix all the ingredients in a bowl and allow that to stand for a while so that the flavours sort of all merge together. And then we'll show you how we use the vine leaves, how we sort of wash and blanch them and get them ready for stuffing. So that'll be the next stage after we've sort of done the mixture. So our mixture is, I better refer to this. So we've got 1 cup of rice. Yep, 1 cup of rice goes in the bowl. 1 cup of red lentils. Now if you want to use meat, you can use 200 grams of minced meat instead. You can use lamb or beef, and we've even made it with turkey mince before. That's fine as well. So we're making a sort of non-meat one today. So to that we add some freshly harvested spinach, just a small handful. Some freshly harvested parsley, couple of finely chopped red onions, some freshly harvested mint, some pepper, a stick of celery, and a finely chopped carrot. So what we do is we'll put the recipe on at the end of the video as well, with all the ingredients in it, to make it easier for people. To that we add some dried mint as well, which we've dried ourselves, has a nice flavour. We've got some 1 teaspoon of miso, which is a soya extract, which we add to that as well. We add a full 500 grams of passata, or you can use chopped tomatoes as well, works just as well. Or fresh tomatoes, even better if you've got, once the tomatoes come into season. You can add fresh tomatoes with a bit of passata or a bit of puree, just to add a bit more tomatoey flavour. That goes in. Got salt and pepper to taste. A bit of salt to that, a bit of pepper. And we like to add some masala, which is sort of spiced blend. We add two teaspoons of that. So that's all the ingredients in there now, really. So we give that a good mixture. And what we always add, we also always add a courgette if we've got one, but we didn't bring one home last night. So that adds a nice flavour to it as well. Nice sort of freshly harvested courgette. Give that all the mix up together now. So we let the flavours merge, and also let the rice start absorbing some of the liquid, and the lentils as well. They'll absorb some of the liquid. Give that a good thorough mix together, and we'll let that stand for a while we sort of prepare the vine leaves for stuffing. So while the mixture's being absorbed, next stage will be to give the freshly harvested vine leaves a good wash. and then sort of blanch them for a couple of minutes in boiling water, and then straight into cold water, and then they're ready for filling. You might have seen a video last week where we showed how we select and harvest the leaves, but it's basically it's ones that are about 4 to 6 inches wide, nice and tender and fresh. So the next thing is to wash them. So nice sink full of water. So just basically rub them on both sides and make sure they're nice and clean. And a good wash. So the next step would be, we've got a pan of boiling water. So just plunge the wash leaves in there. Make sure they're submerged. I think we've got about 50 leaves here. So that should be enough to make a meal for 2 days really. I'll bring that to boil. Make sure it's boiling thoroughly. They start changing colour now. They start going sort of darker green. I'm going to put that on for 2 minutes. So they've been boiling about a minute now. So what I'll do is I'll flip them over. So the top and the bottom. But you can see they've already changed colour. They've been tenderised by the boiling process. So keep that boiling for another minute. Okay, so that's they've been blanched for 2 minutes now. Plunge them straight into cold water. And what we do is we keep the water just in case we haven't got enough leaves and we need to blanch a few more. So we'll keep the water for a little while. And we just make sure that's cooled down thoroughly. You can see they change colour and they're tender now, so they're ready to be rolled. So yeah, the die will show you how we roll them. We both roll them, but die does them sort of a bit looser than mine, I think, which allows the rice to expand a bit. So it's just a matter of folding in the two sides and then rolling it. And then we put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan to stop them sticking. Some people actually use slice of potatoes and put slice of potatoes in the bottom of the pan to act as a sort of barrier. So we also cut off the stalks at this stage. Any stalks that are left, they don't cook very well. So yeah, it's a matter of putting the mixture in the middle, turning over one side, then the other, then the roll from the bottom upwards. That's it, that's 2 done. I'll show you a couple more. That's a nice big one. The bigger they are, it's easier to actually fill, so some ways larger leaves. As you saw on the video we done last week, our vine down the allotment has got larger leaves, which is a lot preferable. The smaller they are, it needs a lot more sort of work involved. Fiddly, yeah, they're fiddly. So the larger they are, it's easier. Yeah, so we just pour a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. Make sure that's sort of distributed throughout. Spread it round, can spread it round with one of the stuffed vine leaves as well. Just to sort of make sure it's all round. And then what we do is we sort of put them in there, starting from the outside in a circle. We just keep stuffing and filling the pan until we've sort of completely. I think we normally get about two layers.
Get the end of the leaf facing down and it holds it together.
The end of the leaf facing down, yeah. And what do we normally get, about 2 layers?
2 to 3 layers, yeah. 2
to 3 layers. So we'll get on now and stuff the rest of them.
You've got to leave room in the vine leaf for the expansion of the rice. So loosely roll them, not really tight.
Not too tightly. Okay. Yeah, so we're on the last few now. What we forgot to say is before you stuff them, it's vein side up. So use the vein side up to stuff them. And there's other variations. You can use the same recipe if you've got a good crop of peppers, beefsteak tomatoes, marrow, cabbage, or even large sort of spinach leaves. All work just as well. So just the last few going here, and it worked out to sort of 50, which is really good. And what we do is we now put some older vine leaves on top, which we've washed and put in the hot water. So last bit going in here. So we've got near enough 3 layers there. What we do is we put just old leaves on top. It's just basically to keep it in place, really. Put those on top. Spread those right round. Okay. And then we put a. You can put a plate. We use this from an old pressure cooker, but you can use a plate. And on top we use a big large stone, which we've been using for years. So that keeps them in place. So the next thing to do is boil some water. We'll put 2 cups of water in there, and then we'll start the cooking process. So we add 2 cups of boiling water. Approximately. You can add a little bit. Is that up to the edge? Is that enough? Yeah?
Yeah.
Just a little touch more maybe. Not too much more. Okay, so that's in there now. So we now bring that to the boil, and then we simmer it for about 40 minutes. So that's now just started bubbling. So we turn that down low. So it's just basically a very low simmer. So I think that took us about 15 minutes to roll those. So 2 of us, it took us about 15 minutes. So it doesn't take too long to actually roll the vine leaves, to stuff them. So there we go. So we'll leave that now 40 minutes and we'll come back. So just to recap, so we cooked it on a very low simmer for 40 minutes, and we've now left it for 2 hours, because when you turn it off, the water's still sort of above the top of the vine leaves actually, but if you leave it for a couple of hours it just soaks away completely. Yeah, so if we take the stone out, which is still pretty hot actually, and we take the covering off, you can see there nicely, nice and firm little stuffed vine leaves. They haven't fallen to bits. Really good. So I mean, the best time to eat them is after 2 hours cooling down, or even up to sort of 4 hours. You can leave them for quite a while. They stay warm for ages actually. Yeah, and you can use them again the next day. You can eat them cold. They're quite nice cold. So yeah, nice meal. We'll probably have ours with some new potatoes and some salad tonight. Yeah, so hopefully that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully you get a chance to make some for yourself. Give us a thumbs up if you've liked the video, and consider subscribing below and follow our journey. We'll do some more recipes in the coming weeks as we harvest stuff and store stuff away. We'll show you how we do that as well. So yeah, hopefully you can join us and follow our journey, and happy gardening everybody. Take care.